numerous times, it would not be one of my live streams if there weren't some form of technical difficulty. I guess let me first off start by finishing the statement I was saying in last time. I'm gonna edit these videos once they're live on my channel as a video and put it as a part 1 and a part 2. This will be part 2. So continuing on from what I was saying in that live stream, I think for them to release this as a free-to-play completed game, I think that they will make it, they'll make a storyline for that second part. So that's what I think they'll need to do. They'll need to completely make a brand new portion of the map, keep all the old people interested, a storyline for that and for Twine Peaks. I think if they can fulfill those requirements and are comfortable with the product that they are releasing, that they'll make it free to play, because then there's no really reason why not to. And then at that point, I'm not saying that makes the game, you know, done, that the game doesn't need any more improvements, that's the way it'll be and that's the way it'll be released. I think they do need to continue working on something else. I think they'll need to create more, you know, maps later, you know, do a whole bunch of stuff, and I think that those can be big updates, and I think they do need to continue working on the game. But I think that that would be a really nice way to produce a product that they would be willing to release. I think that might just be me. Now, given, you know, saying that this game would be at any point ready, at least in the near future, ready to be released to the general population as a free-to-play game of people that aren't just like motivated to play the game. There's a lot of bugs that they need to fix. For instance, the expedition glitch. I completely think they need to fix that. But there's some stuff that needs to be worked out. But I think that those things they could work out. I think that by next season, so this next season where Battle Royale is, by the end of that, if they were really motivated to, I think they could make this free to play. I don't think they will. And so all that to say that basically if you don't have the game, I would recommend buying it. Getting early access to this game once it does go free to play. A lot of people are like, oh, why would I buy something I can just get free in the future? The main reason why is that you're going to be getting a lot of V-Bucks that no one else is going to be able to get until then. So that's a lot of skins that you're going to be able to get from now until then that a lot of other people aren't going to be able to get. And then sorry Tyler, I'm not accepting the invite right now. I'm planning on making this very short. So, but yeah, I think that it's worth it. Just go ahead and buy it. You might as well. Yeah, it might be free later, but also here's the other thing, is that when all your friends get it for free in the future, who are they going to turn to for information? You. You're going to be the, I mean, not saying this in a shallow way, but you're going to be the guy, excuse me, or girl, that they're all going to be turning to for answers, because you've been playing Save the World. Not only that, but like, again, the V-Bucks should be motivator enough. That's the main reason why a lot of people want to play it anyways. Not a lot of people actually want to play it because it's a whole new game. They just want to play it for the V-Bucks for Battle Royale. And I think you'll realize, or people that, again, aren't familiar with Fortnite Save the World, I think you'll realize that once you start playing it, I mean, most people that start playing Fortnite Save the World and get into it anyways, keep playing Save the World and don't play a whole lot of Battle Royale. So, you know, teach their own. So I guess the last part I'm going to talk about, and sorry there's not a whole lot of gameplay during this discussion, this was really just meant to wrap up that live stream with that technical difficulty, and this is, I guess, going to be me explaining what happened. Not what happened, but what I know so far has happened. So I've had numerous issues with the power company that services this piece of property that I am currently residing in and live streaming from. Unfortunately, I think for the next, I don't know, I want to say several hundred miles, there is no other electrical provider to anything. So there's one person to get power from, so it's kind of a monopoly, just saying. So there's no way to do anything about it. You either go solar or go with them. And they've done all sorts of things that I disagree with. For instance, so we have like a light post that we pay for that's not connected to the house. It's just a general light post for lighting outdoors, and it runs its own, it's got its own system. that it's run for, and it runs a few other things. It's like a gazebo thing, you know. So it takes very little power. The crazy part is that I disagree with is the fact that because it only uses very little power, they have a minimum amount of power. So, for instance, a normal electrical bill would cost for a house less than $100 a month, right? But for that thing, the actual amount of power it uses is about $1 a month, because it only comes on. It's based off of a timer. It's one light bulb. You know, we very rarely turn on lights in the gazebo. It's just very rarely used because, you know, half the year it's cold, so we just don't use it. So it uses $1 a month. But because of they have a minimum fee, that ends up costing us about $50 for $1 in power. So what they would charge anyone else in the world, anyone else in their radius of operation, they would charge $1. We're getting charged $50 for. So that's the first thing I disagree with. Second thing I disagree with, the entire neighborhood that I'm on, and it's not a large neighborhood, but I'm not going to say not a large neighborhood. It's larger than the average neighborhood, or what I think people would think of as the average neighborhood, but it's not quite like a, I don't know, it's like a cul-de-sac, but fairly large cul-de-sac. But for this whole cul-de-sac, we have underground power, and so we live in this cul-de-sac. It's probably less than 10 miles to the power plant that services our home. So the amount of, and our cul-de-sac is in underground power, so that's probably a mile worth of road is underground. So you're talking about 9 miles, in between 9 miles of exposed power lines. How we go out of power as much as we do, I think since over the past probably 2 months, I've probably lost power once a week at least for multiple hours at a time. How that happens when we're 10 miles away, I don't freaking understand. And I wish I could boycott it, but the only way we could boycott it is by going solar. And solar panels normally, at least as of right now, the way solar panels are designed right now, usually only last 10 to 5 years. And if you do the math, even if it lasts 10 years, the cost to install and do all the stuff to your house to make it to where it'll run off solar power and to have enough space to put enough solar panels to actually power a house, the cost, it's cheaper, not by much, but it is cheaper to just continue using the power that we're already given, just barely. But if they hike up their price even a little bit, it might be worth it to eventually go to solar power. But again, I'm not planning on living here for that long, so you know, I'm not going to spring for the solar panels. But it might be the person who owns this place. It might be in their best interest to get solar panels, because again, that's freaking ridiculous. Losing power about every week for 2 months, and then that leads into the reason why I had the technical difficulty today. For some reason, over the past couple months, we've had probably at least twice a week, we've had random power surges for no reason. And to give you an idea, we are so close to the power plant that I can hear the power plant as a whole. I don't know what's causing the sound, but the same sound happens right before you hear this sound. I mean, it might just be because I live here that I just tune it out, but you hear the sound of something that sounds like it's shutting down, and then probably 10 seconds after the power comes back on, you hear this loud sound of it sounding like something's powering back on. We are that close to the power plant. So to be that close and be losing power this much, it makes no sense to me, and it's freaking ridiculous that somebody hasn't stepped in and put them out of business, because those type of practices are ridiculous. So I think that's all I really wanted to cover, is that basically, you know, that's the reason why it was a power surge. And if the power surges for long enough, power is off long enough, because I've had it last a few seconds, so if the power surge is quick enough, it'll just shut down the live stream. But it was long enough that it completely shut off everything in my house, so I had to return on the PS4, return on the TV, all that stuff. But I've got it all back online. Luckily, it didn't fry any of my appliances, and that's honestly, I mean, hopefully nobody. Yeah, I see you, Tyler. But what I'm saying is, so hopefully the power plant doesn't see this. But I honestly kind of hope that we get bad enough power surges that it fries all the appliances in this house, so that way eventually people, including hopefully the guy who owns this place, hopefully people will sue the power plant out of business for the fact that, I mean, our power bills have gone down because we don't have power so much. But when if they do start frying people's appliances because they're such a garbage company, then hopefully it'll be enough damages that we can just put them out of business and get somebody in here who's actually, hopefully, multiple power plants around here, or at least that can service your property, to where there's actually competition and it's not just one monopoly, just saying, screw you all, we're just going to do what we're going to do, and we don't really care about the product. You can't go anywhere else to get better service aside from paying out of pocket to get solar panels. So that's my little rant about why my system went off. I think I'm going to end the live stream for the day. I usually try and start streaming at 3. It is getting close to 4 now, and I have a lot of homework that I got to get to, so it's been a busy couple of weeks. I've been staying up till midnight most nights trying to get homework done or doing other stuff. So, Tyler, I was playing video games with you for part of it, but whenever I do play video games, I in between rounds or whenever I get a break, if I'm not live streaming, I'm usually doing homework on the side while I'm doing it. So anyways, I think that's enough for today, guys. I will see you guys tomorrow at 3 o'clock. To anybody watching this in the future, today was a pretty dead stream, so I'm assuming most of the views are going to come afterwards. Hopefully you guys clicked on the part 1. Hopefully you guys click on this part 2 and get to hear the whole story, hear my little rant about hating my power company. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.